All right, guys, before we get started, I want you to be sure that you show this paper to your parents. Your parents need to sign where it says parent signature. And parents, you can write down any questions or comments you have about your student's grade or how they're doing in my class in any way. And before we get started, also, I want to give shout outs to Freddie, Cassandra, Alan, and Josh. They all made A's on the test. Great job, you four. And Mia and Jacob were the only two that got the bonus question correctly. So great job to you two. How you're going to do these test corrections is that you're going to write your class period, your first name, last name, and whatever questions you got incorrect, kind of write them in here. This is so if you missed number 1 and you missed number 4, and in these box here, you're going to write 2 sentences. The first sentence you're going to write is the correct answer is A or B or C, whatever the correct answer was. Then I want you to write the reason why I answered the question incorrectly is because whatever your reason is. You could say I added instead of subtracted or whatever. So you write down the reason why you missed that question for yourself on that particular question. So whatever questions that you missed, you're going to do that. You're going to fill out this form for whatever questions that you missed. So if you only missed 3, you're only going to do 3 boxes. If you missed more than 3, you're going to do as many boxes as it takes. When you're all done, you're going to click submit at the bottom. And so this is your homework tonight. This is not, you're not doing the whisk, you're doing this form instead. And this little link will be on Edmodo and it will be on YouTube. All right, so here we go. Question number 1. They want you to write the temperatures in order from warmest to coldest. So warmest numbers are going to be positive and cold numbers are going to be the negative, or the coldest numbers will be negative. So they really want you to go from highest to lowest. So you want to go from high to low. All right, so I'm going to draw a number line for this question. I'm going to put all my numbers on a number line. So it looks like you have negative 23, 3, negative 4, negative 12, negative 15. It's the same 5 numbers for each answer choice. So 0 would be in the middle. I'm just going to look at A and try to put these in order here. So I have negative 23. That would be over here somewhere. I have negative 15. That would be over here. I have negative 12. And then I have negative 4. And then positive 3 would be over here. So if I want to put these in order from warmest to coldest, I would start from this direction. Okay, this is my greater than. So I'm going from greatest to least. So I'm going to start from here and I'm going to go this way. So my greatest number is positive 3. So it would not be A and it would not be D. All right, my next number would be negative 4. And so I can see right here, C is my only choice because I go from 3 to negative 4. And then I go down the rest of the way. Negative 12 comes next. Negative 15 comes next. Negative 23 comes next. All right, number 2. Which expression is represented by the model below? You can see you start at 0, and from these arrows, it goes negative 5, negative 10, negative 15, negative 20. So they're going backwards 5 on each time. So they're going back 5, back 5, back 5, back 5. And they're doing this 4 times. So what this means is that they're moving backwards 5 spaces 4 times, and they end at this number. So my answer needs to be negative 20. With A, whenever I multiply a negative times a positive, my answer is going to be positive. So that answer should be positive 20, and my answer should be negative 20, so it's not going to be A. On B, I have 4 times negative 5, which is a positive times a negative is a negative. So that answer is negative 20, so that answer looks good. On this one, negative 20 times 5, 20 times 5 is 100, and then with the negative, that would make this be a negative 100, so that's incorrect. And 4 times 5 is positive 20, and that's incorrect. So my choice should have been negative 20 because I'm doing negative 5, I'm doing that 4 times, and I end at negative 20. All right, on the next one, we want to go left to right. So I'm going to go negative 7 plus 3. Since I'm adding negatives and I'm adding positives, that's going to make 0 pairs. And when you make 0 pairs, you actually take away. You subtract. So I subtract these 2 numbers. 7 minus 3 is going to be 4. And since I have more negatives than positives, my answer is going to be negative 4. So I have negative 4 plus negative 8 plus 12 plus negative 14. All right, my next step is negative 4 plus negative 8. Since I'm only adding up negatives, my answer is going to stay negative. So I have 4 negative chips and 8 negative chips. Altogether, that would give me negative 12. So then I have negative 12 plus negative 14. All right, so for the next step, I have a negative and I have a positive. That means I'm going to subtract. So 12 minus 12 is 0. This is actually a 0 pair, guys, because you have 12 negatives and 12 positives. That's going to make a 0. So then I have 0 plus negative 14, and anything plus 0 is the same number. So my answer should be negative 14b. All right, number 4 is one of the trickiest questions on the test, I thought. You have to see which temperature changes represents the greatest temperature drop in degrees. So they're asking you how far away are each of these numbers and which is the greatest. So from negative 11 all the way to positive 16, this would be 11 spaces, and this would be 16 spaces. So altogether, from negative 11 to positive 16, that would be 27. So this changed 27 degrees. This one says from negative 4 to negative 19. So draw a little number line here. Here's 0. Here's negative 4. Here's negative 19. So it's asking how far away, oh, get off the screen. How far away are those two numbers? Those two numbers would be, to get from 4 to 19, that would be 15 spaces away. The distance is 15, so that would be 15 degrees. My next one, from 33 to negative 6. 0. Here's positive 33. Here's negative 6. The distance from negative 6 to 0 is going to be 6. And the distance from 0 to 33 is going to be 33. So I put this together, and 6 plus 33 is going to be 39. And then my last one is from negative 14 down to negative 25. So I ran out of space. Let me work it out over here. Okay, here's negative 14, and here's negative 25. So how far are these two numbers away from each other? I got to subtract that. So subtract 25 minus 14, and I should get 11 degrees. So which one shows the greatest drop? Which one shows the biggest difference in the two temperatures? And that would be C, because the temperature changed 39 degrees. All right, number 5. Which expression is equivalent to 4 plus 5? Well, I know 4 plus 5 is 9. Right? Because I see my arrow ends over here at 9. So I'm looking at which of these equations also equals 9. This one says negative 4 minus 5. If I change this to an addition problem, I have negative 4 minus 5. I put a line going down, turn the second number around, and then I get negative 4 plus negative 5, which equals negative 9. And my answer needs to be positive 9, so it's not A. On B, I have positive 4 minus negative 5. I change this to an addition problem, put a line going down, turn the second number around. I have 4 plus 5, and that equals 9, which is what I want. So that one looks good. Next, I have 4 minus 5. So 4 minus positive 5. Put a line going down, turn the second number around, and then I get 4 plus negative 5, which equals negative 1. And that's not 9, so X that one out. And then my last one, I have negative 4 minus negative 5. Put a line going down, turn second number around, and that would be positive 1. And so that's not my answer. So my only choice is B. All right, number 6 was a very tricky problem. I got a lot of people because they didn't read the key here. The key says that the dark smiley faces are plus 1, and then the white ones are negative 1. So after you do your 0 pairs, you're left with 4 smiley faces, and those 4 are positive. So my answer should have been positive 4. And if you look at your choices, there's only one answer choice that had positive 4 in it. So the answer was C. All right, number 7, the route that Verlanda takes from her house to a store is represented on the grid below. So this line is her route that she walked from her house to the store. Which ordered pair represents a point on Verlanda's route? So you really just had to graph these points. So I start at 0 and I go to negative 3. So this is point A. And point A is not on this line, so it's not going to be A. B, negative 3. So X is negative 3. Y is 6. So I go up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's going to be B. And that's not on the line either. C, positive 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Positive 3, 1, 2, 3. and that point is right there, so that's point C. And then the last one, 3, 9, you go 1, 2, 3, and then you go up 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that point is right above her house. So that one's not it. So my answer should have been C. All right, number 8. An architectural drawing of a building shows the elevation of the basement floor to be negative 12 feet. The elevation of the roof is 32 feet. What is the total distance from the basement floor? This one, again, was a pretty tricky one. So I'm going to draw a little building here. And the basement is at the bottom. So the basement is at negative 12. And that the roof is at 32. And so 0 would be right here in the middle. So it's saying, what is the distance from the bottom to the top? So this would be 32 feet. And this would be 12 feet. So you put this together, 32 plus 12 equals 44. And remember, distance is always going to be positive. It's asking about the absolute value. That's why it's not negative 44. The answer is positive because it's saying what is the distance. And the total distance will always be a positive number. All right, on number 9, it says which point satisfies the conditions x is greater than negative 2. So here's my x line, and here's negative 2. So I'm going to draw a line going this way. So I'm looking for x is greater than negative 2. So I'm looking for all of the points that are over here on this side, because it says x is greater than negative 2. My second part says y is less than 2. So here's y, and here's 2. And so I want all the numbers that are less than 2. So that would be all the numbers going down, less than 2. So which numbers go this way, and they are x is greater than 2, and y is less than 2, or x is greater than negative 2. So it would be in this space right here are my points that I'm looking for. So that would be points W and P, and that would be answer choice B there. Okay, because this part has all the points that I want over here on this side. All right, number 10, it says which expression is represented by the model below. I start at 0 and I go back 3 spaces, and then I go forward 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spaces, and my answer ends at 4, at positive 4. So my answer choice would be negative 3 plus 7 equals 4, and that would be answer choice B, because the answer has to end at 4, and negative 3 plus 7 equals 4. Let me draw that out real quick for you guys. Here's 3 negatives. Here are 7 positives, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I do my 0 pairs, and my answer is positive 4. All right, and finally, here's the bonus question. At 11 p.m., the ice cream is at 15 degrees. If the freezer chills at a rate of negative 3 degrees per hour, what temperature should the ice cream be at 5 a.m.? So at 11 p.m., it's going to be at negative 15. It's going to drop 3 degrees. So 15 minus 3 is going to be 12. And then at 1 a.m., the temperature is going to be minus 3. It's going to be 9. At 2 a.m., it's going to be 6 degrees. At 3 a.m., it's going to be 3 degrees. At 4 a.m., it's going to be 0 degrees. And at 5 a.m., it's 0 minus 3. The answer is going to be negative 3 degrees. Well, sorry, off the paper there. Negative 3 degrees was my answer. I saw a lot of people almost get this correct because they said negative 3, and that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. And so a lot of people did negative 3 times 6, and that's why their answer was negative 18. That's how much the temperature changed. But the question wanted to know what temperature will the ice cream be. So the temperature is going to drop negative 18 degrees from 15. So you had to subtract these two numbers, and that's why the answer was negative 3. That's what temperature the ice cream will be. All right, so that's the very end of it, guys. Go ahead and remember to do your answers on the Google document there, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.